So, Michael, you've got a scenario here where it feels like, and again, if I'm wrong, please, blokes, yell at me, it feels like the further you get into the suburbs, it's viewed as the binary choice of Liberal versus Labor. If I'm going to take my vote away from where I've always put it, I'm going to give it to the Liberal Party. But the closer you get to the city, they're going to throw it around in a lot of different places. And unless you've got a lot of people preferencing the Libs, isn't that just a long way of going back to Labor?
That's partly right, but no, what's happening is in the suburbs, the working middle class are sick of wokeism, they're sick of wasteful government spending. They're also sick of the anti-Semitism. They don't like the attack on them, and Jewish Australians are under attack here, as we know. The other migrant communities, Australians with migrant backgrounds, they hate this stuff. I mean, if it's a Jew today, it can be a Hindu tomorrow or a Tamil tomorrow, a Buddhist tomorrow. No one who's coming from our migrant communities likes this stuff. This has all happened on Anthony Albanese's watch and on Adam Bandt's encouragement. They hate all this stuff, right? They just want blue-collar, working middle-class policies, and they don't like what's happening in Australia today. And they don't like, if you see in Britain, they don't like it there. The Labor government's primary vote in Britain has collapsed. Labor would be voted out of office if there was an election there today. We've seen what's happened in Italy and Argentina and of course in America. This is a worldwide trend. The zeitgeist has changed. In the inner city, it hasn't quite hit the inner city yet because even though the Greens had a shocking result yesterday, there were still people that vote Green. The Greens party is at serious risk. We have seen political parties collapse in this country. The Australian Democrats collapsed. The Greens are being blamed for stirring up anti-Semitism in this country, and they are paying a price. I mean, the Greens voters always prided themselves, mate, on saying, "Oh, we're the anti-racist party." Now people are saying the Greens are the racist party. Yeah. You are the anti-Semitic party. That's what people are saying. So the Greens party are at risk in Brisbane and Ryan, as I said. I think they're going to lose both of those seats back to the Liberal Party. And Griffiths is at risk, and Adam Bandt, who's got 49% of the primary vote, is probably going to win because he's got a big margin. But boy, given there was a 14% swing in Prahran, which is largely in Melbourne, and I live there, he wouldn't want to rest too easily either.
Well, also, the idea of playing defence rather than reaching into places that have never voted for you before, all fascinating to see. Now, Cos, I want to ask a question which, I think I might know the answer to, and it's probably not what I feel in my heart. I like Trump, right? I'm all in. I think that he's, I enjoy the chaos, all the rest of it, right? Obviously, I don't have to live with the daily consequences, but I like much of what he represents second time around. I don't agree with everything, and we don't have to waste time on that. But we've seen a lot of people, certainly in the media, trying to link Dutton and Trump or Dutton and Musk and put them as close together as possible as a way of hurling mud. When you sit around and you talk to voters in those focus groups, how do Australians view Trump, and do they draw any line between Australian politics and American politics?
It depends where we are in Australia, right? If you go to the outer suburbs, like in Werribee, voters out there may have a very different view to voters that live in Prahran, for example. In fact, I can guarantee you that the difference is stark. What Trump does in the United States is what these voters in the outer suburbs are starving for here in this country. What he does in the United States is he lends the voice to a group of Americans who feel like they've never had a voice for decades, drowned out by the political class, the media class, and so on. That's what he does. That's where his real power comes from. He basically makes people who felt invisible, visible again. Here in this country, the group that feels invisible, you could see on the weekend, last night, in Werribee, 40% of them didn't vote for the major parties, right? So when people tell me there isn't an appetite for a Trump populist type leader in this country, my response is, well, there is, just one doesn't exist. And trying to paint Peter Dutton as a Trump type persona really is a bit dishonest, because at the end of the day, Peter Dutton is a representative of an established political party in this country, and that's how most voters view him as an identity. That's not necessarily a negative everywhere, but it's not Trump.